Do you ever watch the media or read a newspaper and you hear about how real estate prices are either skyrocketing or falling through the floor? My name is Donavon and I'm from the Elevation Real Estate Group. Today, I'm joined here by Tyler, who's one of the co-leaders of the Elevation Real Estate Group here in Langley. And today we want to talk to you about media versus reality and how they can misconstrue stuff or how they're reporting on things that you may not know what they mean. So we want to try and clear a little bit of that up for you today. Thanks so much for joining us.
Glad to be here.
So what are some of the things that are, most commonly reported in the media that can be misconstrued or taken out of context that people might not know?
Right, well, that's a good question, Donovan. The first thing I usually look at when I'm reading the headline there is what they're measuring, because newspaper headlines are designed to be sensationalist. They're designed to drag you in, to get you clicking, to see what's going on. So we always want to know when they say the real estate market's up 10% or down 10%, what are they actually talking about? And they could be measuring the number of sales, the volume in a specific month. They could be comparing it against a previous month or the previous year. Often they'll look at average prices, which are telling us the value of properties that are selling in a certain period of time. Or they'll look at the home price index, which is telling us the movement in values. Knowing the difference between those statistics and knowing what they're actually quoting is extremely valuable to know what's going on in the market.
Sure. Yeah, you absolutely need to know what they're talking about in order to know if it means anything to you, if it's going to affect you in your real estate purchase. And I think that's a big area where we as a team like to come in and offer some advice and some help to our clients. Tyler, why don't we just really quick clear up some of these terms for people that are watching that don't have a relationship with a realtor right now. They might not know what HPI stands for or what that means or how that can affect them. So
yeah, the home price index is a measure of change in values, and it can be broken down over specific areas and property types. So we can look, if you've got an apartment in Langley, knowing what the average house price in Langley was last month, probably not that helpful for you. Mm-hmm. And the average price can actually be skewed wildly month over month depending on what sold last month. So we'll look more closely at the house price index, which will look at what the typical price of a condo that sold in Langley last month went for. It's incredibly important in this day and age because we have micro markets across the board area. Mm-hmm. So what's going on in White Rock is often not the same as what's going on single family homes in Mission. We really want to know what we're looking at rather than just throw out broad sweeping generalizations about the market.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think that that's really great points for the HPI. Another great statistic to look at is the median sales price. Like you said, averages can be really skewed by outliers if there was a really high sale or a really low one. And those can occur for different reasons. Maybe a house was extensively renovated and customized, so it sold for more than the average. Or, one was totally beat up and destroyed, and so it sold for a really low price. That's gonna come into play on the average price, but when you're looking at medians, that's gonna take out those outliers and make it a lot more representation, like a lot better representation of the market and what's happening right now.
Sure.
Yeah, so what would you encourage somebody to do if they were reading headlines, they're confused, they don't know if the market's going up or down, but they want to do something with real estate, they're thinking of buying or selling? Mm-hmm. What's the best advice?
Well, that's the second half of the equation. You read these statistics, but really, how does that apply to you and your scenario is what's most important. So that's one of the things that our team excels at. That's different for every person. There is no market that's great for selling in or great for buying in. That always depends on what are your goals and your plans and your long-term motivations. So we sit down with people, we talk about what they're looking to do, what their financial situation looks like, and then we call it real estate choose your own adventure. We help chart out the different courses that are available to them so they can make a decision that's best for them and their family given the current market situations connected with their long-term goals and plans.
Yeah, I did a video I think a couple months ago now about the gap and how that's really the only important thing when you're buying or selling, watching the gap between what you're trying to sell to what you're trying to buy and making sure that you're buying hopefully at the point where that gap is the very closest that it can be, and that is determined by the market and by statistics, and so that's why we pay really close attention to that for our clients. So if you are thinking of making a move of buying or selling property or investing in property, feel free to reach out to us. Tyler and I would love to sit down with you and help you plan your own adventure in real estate and come up with a solution and some options for you that will really work to maximize your experience and your return on your investment in real estate. So we'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks again, Tyler, for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
And we'll see you next time.